How about this? I'll just say 3, 2, 1, pop, and when I say pop, you say pop, or like on one, we all say pop. Okay.
Okay.
So it'll be like,
Sure thing.
well, let me just say, I'll say it as 3, 2, 1, pop, like that. Okay. All right.
Okay. Let's go.
3, 2, 1, pop.
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 Cool. Well, welcome to the Hideout TV Podcast, episode 1. We're recording this in our new. Okay, guys.
Welcome to the Hideout TV dance studio.
Okay, we got to make this as perfect as possible. 3 out of 4 of us doing the Macarena.
That might honestly be the one we use, though. Welcome to the Hideout TV Podcast, where the creators sit down and talk about the episode before, and we just talk about how it's made and all sorts of things like that, stories from the studio and the production. We're joined by Matt, our editor here, because we'll be talking about the Hideout TV Christmas episode that we did last year, and we're also coming live for those watching on video. We're coming live from our work in progress podcast studio here. It's a custom map, and yeah,
Very homely.
Very homely, yeah. And lots of fun references, like the Wolfie's Toradora poster back there, and Ari and I's origin poster right there. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of emceeing this. This is our episode 1, so it's gonna be dirty and raw. But yeah, I guess we just watched the episode in its entirety. What did we think?
I thought better of it than the first time viewing it, weirdly enough. I don't know if that was just a personal thing. Because
yeah,
at
no,
the
I kind of
time...
felt that way too.
Yeah.
Like, I guess
I
it's
don't
just
know what
been
it
a
is,
while since
but-
we've watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I find that
We did
especially...
watch it so many times.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing I remember from it, was the edit session was just so long, and it was like countless late nights of like mass hysteria where we were just like, we were like editing it, but we were just going insane at the same time. Like, we kept singing Out of My League, and we still do that. Like, we still sing it because that intro. But yeah, that's just so much. It was like, yeah, the edit session was definitely a wild one, and it was our first episode that was such an ambitious project that we had to have another editor, and so we brought Matt on as an editor in training, and he killed it. I think you killed it on the sections that you worked on. He worked on the part where we did like the recap for the October thing, and it was great. I mean, the music choices were also his choices, and I just let him kind of like send it, and then like we just reviewed it, and we were like, oh yeah, this is perfect. So
yeah, I kind of took in my own philosophies when I was working on that while trying to meet the instructions that I was given. So I'm glad it turned out to be something you guys kind of liked, because I don't know.
Yeah,
I really like the outcome of it. So I'm glad that
it was a very
made me
tight
feel
edit
feeling.
from like the first draft too. So that was good.
Thank you very much.
Do we have like favorite moments from the show?
Sad girls.
Oh my
Oh God.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, hold on. Let's start that over.
Sequence.
Let's start. So okay, hold on. Let's just go around the table. We'll start with Wolf. What's your favorite moment?
When we replaced Daisy, stupid baby, with God himself. We got in contact with E-Boy Jesus and had a new cameo.
Do you want to talk about the story behind writing that scene and what it was originally going to be?
So originally, this whole episode was supposed to be a like Polar Express reference, and it was gonna be that Daisy, your stupid baby, gave me the Hideout bell, but things came up and she couldn't do it anymore, so we had to improvise. And Ari and Jacob thought, wouldn't it be funny if God just gave Woofy the Hideout bell? And days later, that came to be how it was going to be done. And I spent a few hours being like, how am I going to get a bass to make God? So then E-Boy Jesus came to be. We have E-Boy God now.
That was
something.
it was a panic. I mean, we really wanted Stupid Baby to be a part of it, so we were waiting until like the very last minute to like record that bit. We had a whole like tracker, I remember, and we were like going through the list. Like we were filming all the scenes that we needed to film, totally out of order. We were just going at it, and then Stupid Baby gets back to us, and she was busy. It was around the holidays, so she had a ton of like holiday things to take care of. And so we were like, oh no, what do we do about this bit? And so Ari and I quickly sat down and we were just thinking like, what could possibly be another reason why like Woofy gets this special spiritual bell about Christmas? And we're like, God. God needs to do it. The VR God needs to do it. And so yeah, Wolf did the design for this omnipotent VR being, which is just an E-Boy with a halo and angel wings. Oh my gosh. I think another thing about making that scene happen was we went through we did a location scout specifically for heaven worlds. And we had so many different like heaven worlds that we had went through, and all of them were obviously like kind of the same. It was just like infinite clouds or like water or something. And the one we settled on was like totally like Norse mythology. Like it was just like this random like Eden like kind of place. It was very interesting. But I think what was funny too was that we didn't just make a custom God avatar. Woofy also went through the work of making. We didn't know any other way to animate the bell without going into Blender or like going into Unity and doing the simulation and stuff. So we were like, well, was there an easier way? So what we did was we made another avatar that was completely blank, and the hand was the bell. And so that way somebody can just puppeteer the bell to do what it needed to do. And so when you see it fall in that scene, you're actually seeing somebody that's just playing the bell jumping off of the cliff.
Oh. Okay, I didn't even know. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So it was just like we had so many takes where, VR lag was just causing like one person to move the bell, and it was like the bell would move too far, and then we were like, okay, cut, we gotta do that again. So it was very interesting to work around that. But yeah, the God sequence was so unexpected actually, and it turned out really well. But yeah. Also, I don't know if everyone knows, but Ari played God. Like that was a huge part, was the fact that we didn't know how God was gonna sound, so we were just like, let's just record Ari, and then Jacob will just do magic to make him sound like God.
What can I say?
I don't know why I honestly thought
I'm a godly
it was
man
sound
myself.
at first.
What was that, Matt?
Yeah?
I honestly thought it was sound at first.
You thought it was? I could totally see that. I think we had sound slated for it, right? Or we had him slated
Yeah,
for...
I suggested sound for the voice.
Yeah, it was because he's just got that deep voice. I guess I did kind of take inspiration from that, because I remember we talked about like, oh, he's got to have a deep voice, like, and so yeah, we just ended up rolling with that. But yeah, most times that you see the bell in the show, it's Wolf's hand, or it's Wolf playing the bell. Like that's pretty much how it went.
Yeah.
So
The bell is literally a paid actor.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. It was just. What was your favorite moment?
Getting to play a homeless man.
Oh my gosh, dude! Watching that scene back again, that was like your peak acting. Like, in my opinion, I was like, that voice is just so iconic. It was just, and I love that it's a homeless man, but it's Patrick Bateman.
But it's just
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
it's
say.
not just
I was
any
like,
homeless
I don't
man.
know why like Patrick Bateman just like as for the Avatar fits that so well.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that was a great scene as well. You know, I mean, they were all great scenes, but that one was just, it's just so much fun to have Ari play so many characters as just the intro. Like you play 3 characters just in the intro part. Like you played God, the bell falls on Wolfie, and then you're the homeless man because it's a reference to Bruce Almighty.
One could say the homeless man was God.
Exactly. Well, no, it was though. I mean, we wrote it like we were like, you guys seen Bruce Almighty, right? Like, what if we just had him as like the homeless man? Oh my gosh. The writing for that part, like, I remember in the Discord too, like the general chats, I would just drop every once in a while. Like, I would just toss like a screenshot from the script, and it's just like, it's just like, exterior heaven day, we enter on God. It's like, if you guys want to know where this episode is going, this is where it's going. Yeah, because I mean, you know, and what do you guys think? Because before that point, the Hideout TV episodes suggested nothing similar to that. Like, this one was on a different caliber.
I would say so. Yeah, I think that there were a lot of new things tried with this one that absolutely just exceeded expectations for anyone who took part in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's pretty commendable, honestly, especially compared to the other ones, because it's so insanely different that it's branching out to like more crazier ideas than what's been done before, and it worked. It worked like a charm.
It was ambitious because well, it all started because Wolf and I and Javi were in a call, and Wolf,
Yeah.
and actually the script is kind of based on the actual making of our brainstorming session for this episode, because Wolf came in like hard into this VC and was just like, guys, it has to be a special Christmas episode. Like, Christmas is my favorite holiday. We have to make it something big. And so, yeah, that was the story with Wolf. It's like really kicking it off. So all the energy you see in the episode is also just Wolf's actual energy with Christmas.
I love Christmas.
We we listened to a lot of Christmas music editing that too. Mariah Carey went on for a long time with that one. But yeah.
God.
Matt, your favorite moment?
I'd honestly have to say that my favorite moment was probably well, really any time that there was like cinematic shots, like basically any point in which the 2 cinema bars would come from the top and bottom of the screen, because I found that they were perfect examples of you being able to take your expertise in filming in real life and like transferring that into like a virtual world, or like mimicking it as best you can. And I just think it still looks amazing, especially like the beginning sequence with Wolf like a year after she inherited the bell. And it's like, and at the end when she rings it and it starts snowing, like all of those shots really just blew me away.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I actually, when we were watching it back, that ending part where Wolf is like walking and stuff, and it's synced up to the beat of like the piano music and stuff, I realize that I know why. Like, I know the inspiration I had whenever I was doing that was Mark Webb's work with Amazing Spider-Man 2. Because there's a scene that I had seen like, I think days before we even like started editing and stuff, because I watch Amazing Spider-Man 2 like every month. I feel like it's just such a good movie to me. Like, I will fight people on my take for Spider-Man, but there's a scene when Gwen dies, spoilers, but when Gwen dies, it cuts to like Andrew Garfield mourning at the like the cemetery, and there's like this awesome piano solo by Hans Zimmer that's playing, and like the shots just keep like basically switching, and I realized that the way that the shots switch in that scene is the same way that I edited Wolf like walking through like the city and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my god, like I somehow it like was so deep in my head that I subconsciously edited that scene.
You had
But-
phantom inspiration.
Yeah, for real.
Not even realizing what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Because that scene, and Wolf, you can testify to this. We were exhausted when we filmed that scene. It was like 6
It was
a.m.
like 9 a.m.
Oh,
was
9
9
a.m.
for
for you. So
me.
yeah, it's so 6 a.m. for me. And we were like in the middle of editing, and we're like, we just gotta get this shot done. Like, let's just do it.
Oh my God.
and we were sad. I think I was honestly pulling out the sadness from just being up that long. Like, and that was my my way to get into character, but also my way to film all of that part was just like, okay, we're gonna get really serious and tired. So yeah, but as far as like cinematic techniques, I think that this episode was like the first time I got to really start testing like the grounds for that. And what I found, and I've talked to you guys about it a lot in, you know, pre-production stuff, but what I'm learning about making things in VR versus making things in, you know, making films in real life is like, this is not filmmaking, but it's also not like 3D animation either. You know, it's like this combination of like, we're using styles from anime and we're using styles from 2D and 3D animation and, you know, filmic animation. Because again, the shot that like, for example, we pull from anime is Wolf being sad and having the shot of her eyes not showing like under her hair and stuff. Like, things like that are things that are expressed in anime, but you don't really need to do that in film. You just have the actress or actor cry because, you know, like, they can emote. Like, you know, real actors can actually cry. But with our characters, we can't do that. You know, we just don't have it enabled for us yet. I mean, we might do some customizations later, but at the time it was like, how do we show Wolf's character sad when her main, you know, when Stupid Baby designed this character to be the happiest go lucky character I've ever seen. Like, that award-winning smile right there.
Eye and facial tracking become a thing.
For real, yeah. I mean, we're
For
not
real.
far off.
Oh, dude.
You know, MetaQuest Pro and stuff like that. That's
I mean, like,
that's gonna change it.
just last night at Demon Hours, Typo, he just got his facial tracking and eye tracking done. He was showing me it on his avatar. It's fucking crazy.
That's cool.
Just being able to
Really?
see like
Wait,
all the
like-
different facial, like all just facial tracking. So all his like emotions
That's
and
cool.
everything were like
Wow.
real time. It was really cool.
That is
it actually
super
worked.
cool.
I was afraid it wasn't gonna work very well, but it worked really well. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where that goes.
I'm just worried
Wow.
that, like, for when that stuff starts becoming more mainstream, that people in VR chat are going to start looking like characters from, like, Sonic Adventure. It's going, yes, yeah, all the fucking time.
I'm
See,
gonna
that's
be
what
like,
I was worried
like,
about.
that's
You
gonna be
know?
a
Like,
nightmare.
I feel like it's gonna look really weird, you know. But
Yeah.
I guess after seeing it last night, it doesn't look too bad. I guess
Yeah.
there's a way to control it enough. Except
Keep
for
it
that
like
one
a
time
really
where you're just like
constrained-
staring off into space or playing with your tongue for some reason. Someone looks at you like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Oh no, dude.
Oh
that's a
yeah, that's
good
right. I forgot
point.
my facial tracking was on.
I do that so much. Like, I just like bite my lip, not in a flirtarious way, but like just in a general, like, I just sometimes bite my lip for fun.
Why are you
and, like,
biting your lip at
well,
me, bro? Oh my
well,
god, dude.
You know this because we were Ari. We were just on a call where I drove into a McDonald's drive-thru and I was like playing with my lips, and then like the lady like walked up.
told
The
me
lady like
about that.
walked up and was like looking at me, and I was just like, oh my receipt. Like,
Yeah,
Funny as
sorry.
fuck.
I was just having
yeah.
a moment.
It's like I was just
Yeah.
feeling back for my cord, you know, like, oh, I'm not in VR. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
No, but it is cool though to see, you know, like just the whole filmmaking in VR. We're really like, this is the very beginning of all this stuff for VR,
Yeah.
especially. I mean, like most people have only been doing it for the past few years, and not a lot of people have really gone, as far as we do. And so it's hard to like kind of we're definitely like put in that position where you have to figure out different things for different situations depending on what you're filming or what you're trying to do for the film. And yeah. It's very experimental.
We're in the front lines of progress here.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like uncharted waters. Like, I mean, even as we're writing season 2 right now, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but as we're writing season 2, it's like we're definitely coming across like, what do we want to do versus also telling a story that both, people who have never touched VR and people who are in VR all the time can both relate to. Like, I think it kind of comes into almost the problem that like Free Guy kind of had issues with, or like, I think they did a good job, but you know what I mean? Like, movies that are based on video games have that problem. Ready Player One is like probably the best version of like trying to recreate that. But what's interesting about the way we're doing it is that like Ready Player One is entirely fiction, but the world of VR chat is real. So we also have to acknowledge the kinds of people that we have in VR chat, the tropes that we have. And I think it's exciting, and I think it actually gives us way more to work with in that regard. Like, for example, you were talking about one of your favorite moments was Snowshed's or was it Sad Girl character?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that character, the Sad Girl character, is fun because she's a mute character, and like a lot of people in VR chat, they don't have their mics on. So then we had to cross the hurdle of like, we had a lot of hurdles for that episode actually in regards to Sad Girl, because we wanted to show kind of a bitchy energy, like against like Wolf and stuff, but we also didn't want to like, because it is a mute character, we didn't want to like attach genders or anything like that. So we actually had to do the take twice for the Learning with Wolfie thing, because the first time we kept going, oh, but she's, they, them, like we just kept like trying to figure out who they were, and then we finally settled like, that's not going to blow over well, like we should make it anonymous. And so we did, we just said they, them, basically. And so it was, but that was a whole conversation that like had to be dealt with. So I think that's what made that shoot so long. Like, that was the longest shoot, was the Learning with Wolfie part. Maybe that's why I had it.
With a they, them.
Do you have something to say about that?
No, I've got nothing to say. It was great. I had fun.
See, even now you're still in character. Like, you're still doing it was like, it's funny too, because I really did try to teach Wolf like how to make coffee. And then we go to a party like a couple weeks later, and what happens? What happens, Wolf? She doesn't know.
Okay. Listen, it was 2 weeks ago, and I was screen sharing the start of Demon Hours to Jacob, and we were at that world with the coffee, and I was like, hey, look, we're in that world. I'm gonna make the coffee, and I don't remember how to work those machines. I didn't do any of it right, and he got so frustrated that he got off Discord and in VR to come show me how to do it.
That is hilarious.
Then people were joining and was like trying to order from me, and I just kind of ran off because I don't remember how to make coffee. I just used my Keurig.
I was like, Wolf, we have clocked like 70 hours of edit time on like that episode alone. Like, and somehow, no matter how many times we've watched this thing, you still haven't figured out how to work it. I was like, how?
Stamp it.
Oh man, that's another thing. So many memes came from this episode. Like, I just think the core amount of memes that we send today are like about this episode. Like Wolf doing the little shimmy, and like Ari going, like, quote, like, it was just really funny. And then yeah, that was definitely a build off of Lufa in the previous episode doing like the deep kind of remake thing where he like turned around. We were like,
that was so funny.
Yeah, we were like, that right there, we gotta do more of that. Yeah,
playing Lufa was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, that's right. You played Lufa as you did the motion capture. Yeah, But yeah, that was, I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think of what my favorite moment is. Oh my gosh. I feel like I just have too many, but I'd say that all of your moments is great. I'd say that the little detail of the Casicola part where like we're reading off all of the FDA like unapprovals and stuff, and then on screen, I feel like not a lot of people noticed it, but on screen, you know, it shows Wolf and I like, you know, doing a little cheers and drinking, and then I throw mine across because I just don't care, and then Wolf just looks at me like almost offended, and then she like chucks the can like right at my face, and then it just hard cuts. I also love the moment. I'll take one more favorite here. I love the moment that really was in the writing. The execution of it is just disturbing, but the writing of the last time we had Santa, and like Wolf was just sitting on the Santa thing, and then Ari and I like do the Pulp Fiction stare, and then the guns thing. It's like that was like so disturbing, but it was like funny to write, like because we were just like.
I
don't even know how we came
also
up with that.
Santa.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that was horrifying. Yeah.
There's so much. I don't know if we have it clipped, but you did. You played so many characters in that one. I don't even think we credited you as Santa. But yeah, Ari would like shake around as like this fat Santa, and Wolf was just like, please stop, like completely real, like not even acting. She was just like, please stop, Ari. It was so
What was
funny.
awful about that is we recorded that whole bit, but there were so many problems like with lag and stuff that we couldn't use like half of it. So it was just a little bit that we could use.
Yeah, we were.
So I suffered for nothing.
We were struggling. It was also hard because, and I realized this after, is that one of the reasons why we were lagging so bad was because I was tired enough that I would just leave the edit program open. I'd leave like Premiere open while like we hop in VR and stuff, because I'm like editing one segment. I'm editing like, you know, the main segment where we talk about the calendar, and then you guys are like all online, and then we're like, okay, let's get this one, you know, shoot. And then I just like really quickly switched to VR. So my computer was just crying. Like, I think you can even hear it when I talk sometimes. It's just like,
Help me,
I had to denoise like all my audio because you can hear my computer fans just screaming. So it was wild. Next time I won't do that. But also next time we have access to a soundstage, so I'll probably be recording my stuff in there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing is basically we have a Valve Index at the studio in real life, and no one's using it. And I asked them, like, do you guys mind if I do like Unity experiments in it? You know, that's what I'm calling it, is just Unity experiments. And
right.
they're like, yeah, well, we don't have anything going on after this current job. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring my base stations in, so I have 4 base stations, and I'm just gonna hook up all my stuff. And also they got 2 Vive trackers, so I just need to buy one. Just throwing it out there.
Really?
You know?
Let's go.
Yeah,
time.
so I'm
About
excited.
time.
It's time to have
Yeah.
a seat.
I will say that all of this has been another thing is like, from the perspective of a director, the journey of learning Unity through you guys has been like really cool. Like, I feel like I didn't think that it would be very educational for me, or like this project and stuff, but that's kind of why I'm in it now, is because I get to learn all of this cool stuff about Unity and learning about game making pretty much, and it's very neat. And I think, yeah, at the core of our production team is education. So like we have Matt, who's pretty much now going to be like our like key editor, you know.
Yes.
And then we've got a whole open training team, which, by the way, I want to make take this moment here to recruit, you know, a little bit and be like, hey, if you want to learn editing, and if you want to learn sound design or virtual production experience, then, you know, hit us up, because we would love to, you know, add you to the team. You know you're on camera, right?
Where am I?
No. Dementia.
Not again.
But yeah, in the future we'll probably have like editing seminars and stuff where I can walk through some episodes and kind of show how we did the timeline. And I made a whole like
I'll be your
book.
TA.
I made like a whole, yeah, exactly. Hideout College,
and
baby.
we'll have Matt here show you how to do this, and then it's just me on my computer just doing a bunch of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Yippee!
Hideout Hideout University.
Dude.
I love it.
That'd be crazy.
We have to like make a promo that's just like us, but like we're Monsters University characters.
Yes. Yeah, I love that.
These boys go back to college.
Everyone goes back to college.
What? I feel like I'm hogging the mic a little bit. So, what would you guys say? And we'll go around the table again. What would you guys say is the most challenging part for you guys as individuals working on this? Let me take some time to think about it.
Acting. I'm not good at acting. So when we got to that one bit at like 9 a.m, I actually had to make myself cry to sound sad.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm not used to this kind of stuff, so I literally just had to make myself very sad and just cry to sound sad.
Hey, that is so
that was very challenging.
of a true actor, though, is that you gotta embody what you're trying to feel. Make yourself sad to actually act sad.
Well, it's just like with Snow when we were filming Learning with Woofy. I had to genuinely just get upset with him to be like, yeah, okay, fuck you.
Snow, can you do something to really piss me off?
He just has to look my direction, just that's enough to make me upset. Just kidding.
It was funny because that scene too was like, the scene with you and Snow was funny just because you guys were making each other crack up. But more than that, anytime that I wanted to do any bit of improv, you were like getting mad enough with him that you would just speak over me. Like, and that's when I knew, oh my gosh, like Wolf is dominating the scene now. Like I gotta back up a bit. It's like you can feel it. And then the amount of times that she tackled Snow. Actually, that's a fun part that I should mention from a production diary standpoint is that. So Wolf has full body tracking, and we needed to get a shot of Wolf like jumping on the counter and tackling Snow pretty much. We ended up going with a more choking approach because Wolf kept jumping onto a pad or onto her like air mattress. And that's how we were recording that bit. Was like in real life, she was leaping like onto this air mattress. But what it really looked like was she was just diving head first like into the counter, and so we were like, oh my god. But yeah, like
because my model's so small, I struggle with stuff like that.
I will say that what we got was really funny, and it was but also on the topic of the being sad and stuff, I remember even referencing this, but it honestly felt like I felt like Stanley Kubrick making The Shining, because I don't know if you know the story, but when Stanley Kubrick was making The Shining, the main actor or the main actress, she was actually, I'm blanking on her name, but she was actually like kind of traumatized from that shoot or from that production in its entirety, because they were like keeping her on edge at all times with like essentially psychological thrills, and like Kubrick wanted her to always be kind of like shaken up and like stirred, and so a lot of her scenes apparently are like breakdowns, like actual breakdowns and stuff. and I was just thinking in my head, like, I can't believe we just broke ethics right here when like Wolf actually crying, and like even when we were done, we were just sitting there like getting ready for the next scene, and Wolf was just like I was like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Really, and meanwhile, I'm over here like a sociopath. Like I'm just like, how do I sound emotional with my friend? So that's why when you see my part, I just muted it and just had me like kind of hold Wolf at the end there, is because I could not for the life of me have a good thing to say to Wolf. I was just like,
wow.
I was just like, it's gonna be okay, Wolf. it's just a show in VR. Like, I was just saying stupid crap like that. But yeah. Ari, what about you? What was the most challenging part for you during this episode?
Probably writing it. I mean, writing it was really fun. It was really fun to do, but it was definitely like we were constantly trying to figure out like what's the next best thing that we can do with this episode, and where can we take it. Just a little further from our last 2 episodes, and it's always a good little mind game, I guess. Trying to figure out where to go and what to do and how to go from this to this to this, but I don't know. I love it at the same time. It's fun to do.
Yeah, I feel
everything
like
else though. It was just like, yeah, it was pretty fun. Oh, and then scheduling. Scheduling.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
Scheduling was terrible.
Was a nightmare.
That was probably
Like,
the worst, actually.
Yeah. Well, and it all got back to writing. Like, we had to rewrite certain scenes. Like, for example, it was originally supposed to be both Ari and I consoling Wolf when she's having her breakdown, but you were busy. I think you had work. You had like emergency shifts at that time.
Oh yeah.
And this was like
I
right at the tail end of your job there. Yeah, I know. And I remember it was like last minute, and so we were like, okay, like we were just on site like filming, and I was like, okay, Ari's not gonna join. He was arrested for tax fraud, and so we just
that's
like
why.
it was,
That's
yeah.
Which,
and it was,
by the
Yes.
way, was probably the best. It was probably the best way to have that part end, only because of where we're taking it in season 2, which I can't really say anything, but it's
True,
it worked out
yeah.
really well.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And yes, scheduling was a nightmare. Writing was interesting because again, we all were excited about it, but I also know like I got to learn a lot about writing with you too. Because like for me, I'm just trying to bring it home. I'm just trying to make like the story work, together. You guys were really the idea people, I feel like. And Wolf wanted to make it, Wolf was the emotional writer. She was making the emotion part of it. But then Ari was okay, how can we push it even further? Like, to like the crazier scales. Like, so the God thing. And then like, well, I'm trying to think of like other segments, but like, pretty much any segment where, and this is throughout the show entirely. Like, for example, we're riding on a motorcycle and we crash because we see Sad Girl and stuff. It's like you always find a way to make it like more extreme than I could have imagined it being.
The Steam Prize infomercial.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
That's what
gosh.
solidified your character. You could win big. Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, scheduling. Oh gosh, yeah. We're gonna have to think about that. We may need a coordinator or someone to deal with that. So, hi.
Hi. I'm just kidding.
You have a question, or you want to volunteer? No. So how about you, Matt? What would you say is like you feel like there was any challenging moments with the edit or anything at all with production?
Honestly, I would say that the most challenging thing, well, because I only kind of joined like a little small way through it, so I wasn't really there to like kind of help with the entire production of it, but for what it was, I guess it was just like learning. And even though I think I did learn pretty fast, there were a lot of things that I figured I could do better or worse. Like I literally had to teach myself on the fly how to use Photoshop for the thumbnail. Like,
oh man,
and literally made that within an hour when I had never used Photoshop in my life before.
Are you talking about the New Year's
it was pretty
video
fun.
and stuff?
Oh, that's right. That was the New Year's. Oops. I
We
apologize,
can talk about
but-
that too a little bit, but I feel like yeah.
Well, okay, sorry. Back for the Christmas episode. Sorry, I'm stuttering on my words.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'd probably say it was just trying to find like the best moments to put in each segment, I guess. So yeah,
Mhm.
it was probably just reviewing the footage and being like, okay, out of everything that's here, what is like the best stuff I can use? Especially in like the 30-second segment that you wanted me to do, like the little like recap of the October VR chat costume contest. It was like, take this whole 17-minute video, compile it into 30 seconds of just chaotic clips. I was like, in God's name am I going to do that? And I somehow managed to do it though. So I'm pretty content with how it turned out.
that was definitely the one where we were like, I was kind of like, I don't know how to do this, so I'm just praying that Matt, figures it out. And and you did, like, it was one of those things where you showed it to me the first time, and I remember you even asked while you were mid-edit, you're like, can I put my own music in here? And I was like, yeah, I mean, even if it's just for reference, it's good to have. And we ended up keeping it, which is like that circus music that was playing like during the whole thing. That was awesome. Yeah, it was probably exactly how I pictured it in my head, like whenever I thought of like, what is this montage?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then rewatching it also, like, I didn't notice that in the IRL segment where it shows like Ari at the costume contest, I didn't realize that he was doing a whole bit like in the very corner of the screen, like the whole time, where you just see him like every once in a while. First he's in the hentai hoodie, and then he's got like a hat, like a cowboy hat, and then like a bunch of glasses on.
I edited and cut down that whole segment, and I never noticed it until like an hour ago, like today. I was like, how did I miss that? I totally would have just had a frame of you just with a hat and like 15 different sunglasses on that just zoom up on it for just a second, whether it was relevant or not. I was like, how did I not see that?
Where did this even come from?
Honestly, dude, so funny. And then like I guess in the moment I hadn't thought about how much Wolf actually like talked during the costume contest, so I thought it was funny to kind of listen to her bits more, where she's just like gassing people up to do the gritty and stuff. And I was like, you're encouraging this? Like, oh my gosh, that was
Ari
awesome.
and I, the whole month of October, had an obsession with the gritty. We just wanted everybody to do the gritty. I don't know why, but we did.
Do the gritty right now.
But can you do the gritty?
Oh my gosh, it's just the gritty became
Gritty
such
check,
a
gritty
key
check.
member or key role. Like even when we were editing the October thing, like the actual 17-minute video, I remember we had it like we do a part in that video where it flashes back to when like I think it was Javi or someone was like, "Don't do the gritty," and then it just cuts back to Ari going, "But can you do the gritty?
Can you do the gritty?" Yeah, exactly.
It's like, why? And then us counting down, like again, Yash said it best, but like when he was just like, I feel like I'm just watching these people like direct, like sheep or something, or I don't know what he said, but it was like,
this is like the next Miss America or something.
Yes, because we were just like making these two people, like, honestly at the time still kind of acquaintances, and we're just making them like, okay, do the gritty on camera in front of all these people. It was like, we're the worst. Like, it was
Dude.
so funny.
For both the VR chat and the IRL costume contest, a lot of like the funnier moments of like outbursts of anybody was when Yosh would just like come in and say something. Like even at the beginning of like the 30-second one of the recap, there was a moment Yosh would just be like, "I'm really scared," and that was so funny.
Also, the part that I think didn't get noticed too much in all of the chaos in the actual video, but you highlighted it really well, was me going, "You two are now owners of a country." I was like, I forgot that I said that.
It was just because, like, I'm like, unless you watch the video, that just sounds so fucking weird for a costume contest that I'm like, you know what, just put it in. No context. That's gonna be the funniest shit.
I remember the context was Wolf and I were exchanging looks, and we were like, who is going to announce the prizes? We didn't think about this. Like, we were spamming the Discord, like, somebody do it, somebody do it. And then Javi gets up and he just goes, he like completely improvises as if there were no prizes to begin with, like as if he didn't know. He just kept going, he kept running up to them and going back and forth and just going, get ready, because you guys are going on a private island. And all of the hosts, everyone, we were like, what the fuck is he saying? Like, we were like talking in the Discord, like panicked, like, no, we have to tell them about the Steam gift cards. And then I go up there and I just completely shit the bed. I just go up and go, you two are now owners of the country.
Blew the whole thing out of the water.
We were like panicking so bad, like just trying to like get this thing to the finish line. It was awesome. But yeah, I was I think everyone had a good time with that whole portion. I know, but we're talking about the Christmas episode. Hold on. Let's bring it back. Let me think. For me, I definitely say the challenging moment was editing, you know, this stuff, like putting it all together. In retrospect, we needed more editors. Matt was gracious enough to volunteer so much of his time to do it, and you like saved me on that whole part because I was like a husk. I wasn't just doing Hideout TV during that time. I was on a commercial job that I can't talk about, but I was on a commercial job that was taking up my time from like 5 a.m. to like 10 p.m. at night. So I would wake up at 4 a.m. I would drive like across the Bay Area to set, and I'd be on set all day. Then I'd come home, and then I would just open up Premiere and hop in a call with like Wolf and just like cry about it. Just like, and then here's how. Now Wolf, I'm gonna let you defend yourself here, but here's how I remember your support being. You're just like, don't worry, Jacob. We have a whole other season to think about after this. And I was like.
I don't remember that, but I do remember playing the same song over and over again on our Spotify listen along. So I don't remember that bit, but
we were going insane on the Spotify. Like we just like you just be like, I'd be like, Wolf, I am going to freak out right now because this set day didn't go too well, and then Wolf just goes, 40 days and 40 nights.
40 nights.
And then we both just go, you are out of my league. And then we get a text from Matt, and he's just like, do you guys want me to pick up any more? And I'm like, just focus on the segment. But don't you worry, Matt. I will give you more in the future.
Smile.
Well, I mean, it was also because you seemed like you just had so much on your plate that I'm like, I can do more.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to release this episode first to also define the style so that all the editors can use it as reference and be like, okay, so when we do cinematic parts, this is how we want the style to look, you know? And
right.
And so now that we have that, I will be giving you much more. But we also have I guess I can announce that we have the two Nolans. We have Funny Guy Games and Yosh on the team too to edit, and I'm really excited. And also Ari and Wolf will also be picking up edits, so that I can focus more on like directing the project and making sure it all looks good. So I'm excited for that workflow. But yeah, I just remember that was the challenge, was just like having a full day on a real life set, and then going into the virtual set and then continuing to film stuff. And it was like probably the most sleep deprived of my 2022. So, but hey, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And we actually got it done like 2 days early. Like, because Matt picked up that segment, we got it done so early. And Wolf and I were just shaking on hitting the upload button. Like, we were like, can we just like release it now? Like, can we just release it now so that people can praise us and then we can go to bed? Like, it was like, oh my gosh, yeah. But there's just a lot of fun, a lot of challenges, but I think we really pulled it together, and the reception was great. I think that's the next thing I wanted to talk about is the reception of the video was like probably the reason why we're still doing things like this podcast here and stuff, is because I was so happy with how the live, listen went, and all the like comments and all the support that we got from it. It really inspired a lot of people to, offer their support and their help in any way they can. And like, I honestly, we needed to hear that, because we put our soul into this, and it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of challenge, and it was paid off really well. So
we're grateful.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
We're grateful.
I like that this show has just become us like talking about how much of a husk we were when we made it.
Really great for making any of that fulfilling.
But yeah, so that's I think that's pretty much a wrap on, talking about the Christmas episode. We can talk a little bit about the New Year's episode, I'd say, or the New Year's special kind of thing we did, because Wolf kind of just approached us, like, randomly almost, where it was just like, hey, are we doing a New Year's video? And then we all just kind of were like, oh my God, like we had just come off of this trauma from like the last one.
What?
And what? And then, of course, like, it took us, like, 2 days to finally realize that what Wolf was saying is just a very casual, like, yeah, let's just talk to the camera and just, like, give a little bit of remarks for the year, But at first we were like, is this whole production? We gotta get back on the set.
It's over.
Yeah, and so, yeah, exactly. I was like, Matt, I need you to edit this one. But, actually, great example, though, Matt. You edited the whole thing, like, and I was barely there because I was traveling. I was like traveling for most of that. You can even see in the video I'm talking in real life. it's actually just me being like, "What's up, guys? It's Osumoo
here." Hey guys, Osumoo here. Today I'm announcing
that
I'm just relinquishing everything to my assistant editors.
Yeah. Ari, your video was incredible. Yours is like the most like I wasn't expecting it, and when we watched it, it was just like losing, like just like constantly falling. Like you're just like, oh.
I was trying to I was sitting there and I was like, what can I do for a bit? What if I just fell out of the sky?
Just keep jumping off cliffs. I'm down here. Oh, I gotta go down there now.
I definitely feel like the way to describe our character tropes, like in the Hideout TV season 1 at least, is like Wolf is the one who's trying to bring everybody together and keep everything together. Osumoo is just messing it all up. Like he's just too egotistical and it's messing up the whole project. And like I didn't want to get the mail, and that's the reason why we lost the studio. And then like Ari, he is just like it's like the story of Job, dude. Like in the Bible, the world just lands on him, like in the most brutal ways, and he is just smiling through it like nothing happened. Like literally, it's like we cut to Ari for the New Year's special. Like Wolf is just having a nice drink at the bar. Osumoo is like in really beautiful attire. It's just talking about like how this year went and stuff. Matt is this very heartfelt like calm video and stuff. And then Ari is like stuck on the Halo ring for some reason. It's like if you think about it, it's like Ari, and then like Ari is hospitalized in one of our episodes, and then he's also arrested for tax fraud. It's like he is the indomitable human spirit.
Fucking break.
It's so funny, dude. But yes, I feel like I wasn't present for a lot of the edit during that one. And it was a good test, I think, to see like how we would function if I was kind of away and stuff. And the podcast turned out beautifully. The whole New Year's video was all like turned out, despite our best efforts, it turned out bigger and better than we expected it to be. Like, originally it really was just gonna be us like, hey guys, we really appreciate y'all, you know, and then it became almost a whole story, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was really fun, and yeah, it was just it's a good time. I remember it was New Year's Eve whenever I put together that final motion graphic of like the statistics of our servers and stuff, and you know, I was running out of statistics, and I was like, oh, what do I do? Oh, what if I just like put how many times the phrase "D's nuts" has been uttered, you know, in our chats and stuff? And it was actually a shocking amount of times that people have said it. So
Was it really shocking though?
It was. It
That's
totally
shocking.
was. To me, it was. You two are just
Try looking up
agents of
Joe
change.
next time.
You. The amount of times, man, that I go through something traumatic and then a wolf just walks over my corpse with the phrase, "But have you heard of Joe, though?" And I'm just like Family Guy pose, like, what? Joe what? And then you're like, Joe Mama.
But at what cost?
But at what cost? We have to talk about that, but we'll save it for another episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
That should be his whole other episode. Yeah. So get ready for that, guys. But yeah. So that's pretty much the wrap up. Oh, and one more thing. I forgot to finish my story about the New Year's graphic. Is that whole template and stuff? I actually ripped that from a commercial job that I'm doing right now. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Nice.
So I basically just copied.
Fucking
I took someone's After Effects template and then just copied it and then just filled it in with like the pictures of the hideout and stuff.
freelancer mindset.
So-
Freelancer mindset.
But yeah, so that's a recap of the Hideout TV Christmas special. And as for this show, you know, we want to keep rolling out content for you, so we decided to make this podcast, and we'll be talking about VR production, things like that, and you know, maybe even going over just like our lives a little bit. But yeah, expect it every other week, and we're gonna try our best to stick to that schedule and see where it goes from there. But yeah, any last remarks, y'all?
Nope.
Not that I can think of.
Wolf, you wanna take us out?
40 days and 40 nights.
And hit it.
All right. Bye, dude. You are-